you may be thinking that mental health Mark has grown out his hair and seen some spectacular results from his anti-aging cream, but I'm actually his son Jack, and Dad has asked me to put together a short video giving my 4 top tips on how to survive lockdown and maybe even make the most of it. I hope these help. Firstly, I think it's important for us to have some perspective about the events that are happening. This is a photo of my grandpa and grandma. Grandpa celebrated his 91st birthday yesterday, and it reminds me that many of our grandparents have been through a world war for 6 years. Now, of course, we have the very brave NHS workers and volunteers who are risking their lives every day. But for the rest of us that have just been told to stay at home, I don't think this is that tough a task if we're going to be completely honest. Given the uncertainty, it's likely that our mental health is going to be even more fragile than it is normally, and so it's even more important for us to find ways to preserve it. I go for the world's shortest run first thing. It's a truly embarrassing distance, but it is enough for me to completely clear my mind of any worries. For those of you that have the luxury of it, I'd also recommend a daily bath, as it's been scientifically proven to reduce anxiety levels. And finally, I'd recommend keeping screen time down to a minimum in the hours before you go to bed to avoid a very stimulated brain and rough night's sleep. I think we should be mindful of the types of social media apps that we're using. I think apps like FaceTime, Zoom and WhatsApp are great ways to connect with our friends and are often the closest thing we have to face-to-face communication. But I would advise limiting your time on the aimless scrolling apps like Instagram and Facebook. Scientific studies have shown a very worrying increase in depression and anxiety directly linked to these apps. And there's a great Channel 4 interview with an ex-Silicon Valley founder who does a much better job than I do at explaining just why these apps are so bad for our mental health. I'll try and find a way to link this at the end of the video if I can. Now that we've got perspective and have taken care of our mental health, I think it's really important for us to have hobbies that we can keep ourselves busy with. Rather than thinking, oh God, we might have another few weeks in lockdown, why don't we instead think, when are we going to ever have this much spare time to develop ourselves? I've set myself a target of reading a couple of business books a week, but if you have other hobbies like art or music that you haven't really had time to explore, then use this as your golden opportunity. I think it would be great to come out of lockdown much better versions of ourselves rather than just with a Netflix addiction. Okay, thank you so much for putting up with my camera awkwardness. Hopefully there is something you can take away from this. Keep safe, keep sane, and keep smiling.